So why did I take a 3-month break from YouTube and what happened? Now, quick aside here, if you're only interested in what this 3-month break did to my YouTube channel, I'll put a timestamp that goes right to that section in the description below and in my pinned comment. But for the rest of you who are interested in learning why I took the break and what happened on the break, let's get into all of that. So why did I take a 3-month break? When did I do it? What was I planning to do during the break? And was I planning to return to making videos for Olive City Oasis ever again? Well, obviously, yes, here I am. I'll explain all of that right now. And at the very end of the video, I will fill you in on, well, what were the results from this break, including some fascinating YouTube analytical stats. But if this is the first time you've come to my channel, I'm Kim, hello, and I'm so glad you're here. And if you are a returning viewer, well, thank you very much for joining me again. So I began my 3-month break in February, mid-February, but it really started in January. I was so tired out from the busy holiday season and I came down with a bad case of COVID. Yeah, and then February hit, and it's a busy birthday month for us. I have 5 adult kids with birthdays in February that we, of course, had to celebrate. And what else? Well, February is a gloomy, dark, gray, cold month, and that is definitely not my favorite thing. In fact, it usually gets me pretty down in the dumps, and I have to work really hard to combat that seasonal affective disorder that I've always had all my life. So in January, I only did 1 video, and in February, I only did 2. Well, I filmed a 3rd one, but I was feeling so down, so confused that I didn't publish it. And that was the big thing, really. I was so confused about this channel and the direction it was going. I started the channel back in mid-August of 2020, almost 4 years ago now. And I started this channel because I wanted to share the exhilaration, the inspiration, the relaxation, all the wonderful things that growing brings to me with other people. And I wanted to do it in a way that could help people who don't have a lot of money, because a lot of the gardening channels I watched were people with lots of money. And I wanted to do it in a way that could help people who were older, maybe had some injuries or chronic illnesses they were dealing with, and yet they still wanted to garden because, well, that's what I was dealing with. Also beginning gardeners, because well, when I started, I was pretty new to gardening. I was very eager, and I had, a little background. And I had the help of being raised with a father who had been a landscaper and a nursery owner. So I had some head knowledge, but hands-on, I was kind of new to it. And I wanted to be there to help others after I'd done it for a few years and was seeing some wonderful results, not just in the garden, but in me from the gardening. So yes, I wanted to help people, and I did see that my videos were, some of them, helping people, but it was people who found my video from search. In other words, they had a question about a certain plant, a certain tree, and they searched for it, and they found my video, and they learned something, they asked a question, I answered them, they were grateful, and that was really nice. But what it didn't do is it didn't grow a community, and that's one of the things I was looking for, was community. Like-minded people who could become really gardening friends. Actually, not even just gardening friends, people who enjoy nature, because a lot of my videos are more than gardening. They're about just the benefits of nature and how much the beauty and the wonder of nature can help us. But I was starting to feel so stressed that it wasn't going that way because there was no community being built. I had some videos that were getting many thousands and thousands of views, but they were from search, and the number of returning viewers and people who actually were, clicking with me was pretty low. So I just didn't know what to do. And that month in February, I just couldn't put up that 3rd video I'd filmed. I was like, it's so long, nobody's gonna wanna watch it, even though I knew it was full of really good, valuable information about bare root fruit trees. So I just did nothing. I sat on it. and just put out those 2 videos in February. In mid-March, I said, you know what? I need a break. I just can't do this anymore. I need some time off because I'm just thinking about it too much and I'm not coming up with any answers. Maybe if I give myself some time off, some rest and relaxation, and not think about it, then, in the background, my mind can be working on it and come up with a good plan. So that's what I did. I took my break starting in mid-March, and I started it off with the decision to publish that long bare root tree video, but I divided it into 4 parts, by subject matter, made them shorter videos, easier to digest. And I went out one day in March when it happened to be a little bit sunny, and I filmed all the intros and outros to those 4 short bare root tree videos at the same time, just so I could get them up. That's why I'm wearing the same clothes in all those videos. Plus, I did a little short 5th video the same day with me planting one of the recent bare root fruit trees I'd bought to sort of illustrate what I was talking about in those videos. And then that was that. I was on break. In reality, I did nothing on the channel from mid-March until the very end of May. And that might seem like only 2.5 months, but actually it was more like 3 to 3.5 because of the fact that I did so little in January and the first half of February, and did nothing from mid-February to mid-March. So then I was free to take what I thought of as an indefinite break, and I gave myself permission not to think about the channel at all, like I said. Instead, I focused on my present and on self-care because I really needed some fun and I really needed to fill my creative well. So I had 3 main goals for my break. Yes, I did. I had goals. That was important. Otherwise, I might just, do absolutely nothing and feel kind of lousy about myself. That's just how I am. So my goals were: number 1, relax and enjoy myself. Number 2 was to celebrate and connect with my adult kids who live with me. My youngest just turned 18 in February, and then my 20-year-old who just finished their 2nd year of college lives with me, as well as my 24-year-old son who has finished college and is working full-time and saving money. And my 3rd goal was to accomplish some very important, at least to me anyway, projects that needed to get done before the heat of summer hit because, either they were timely, like sowing seeds and prepping the garden beds and mowing the entire property, or they were urgent for other reasons, like we needed to build a large, secure, interesting catio for a couple of our cats with health issues who needed to be outside. And of course, without the pressure of filming and editing and publishing videos, I had a little more time, to say the least, to give to these projects. So they were much easier to accomplish during March, April, and May. Still, the main reason for the break was for rest, relaxation, recentering, just self-care. So how did I relax and enjoy myself? Well, I'm going to be sharing some video clips and photos of many of the things that I and my kids did during those 3 months. But the first thing that I put high on the priority list was to get back to reading. I have been a lifelong reader, but in the last couple of years, I've gotten so busy, I've kind of pushed reading to the back. I sort of was viewing it as a guilty pleasure. And that all went away during the break. I read science fiction, I read historical fiction, I read nonfiction, I read my cozy mysteries, I read gardening books, of course, I read memoirs, I read time travel. I love time travel. I just read. And now I can say very happily that I no longer consider reading a guilty pleasure. Even off my break, I feel like reading is just a pleasure. Now, 2 other ways that I thoroughly enjoyed my break: soaking in nature in every way I could. Isn't this a lovely refuge? I've been hiking around for about 20 minutes and already I'm pretty warm. The shade here and the sound of the water, very tempting to come take a look. There's a fountain up here and some stonework. Look at this gorgeous fountain. I really want to add more water features to my garden. clearly spring has arrived here. Gorgeous pink blossoms. Now this is a peaceful, tranquil, beautiful place to sit and enjoy the fountain. And by taking road trips. I love road trips, always have. So I've always taken my kids on a lot of them. And road trips are a great way to combine my love of nature, my love of history with my love of road trips. So we did that several times during the break. And that was a way I could also connect and celebrate with my kids. Now, I've said celebrate a few times, I believe, and I don't think I've explained what I was celebrating. Of course, sort of celebrating being on break, but the main thing I was celebrating was the fact that, as I mentioned, my youngest is 18 and they graduated high school this year. So in February, March, April, May, well, that was a very busy time for us because they were graduating our homeschool high school, which necessitated everything that goes into that, which for all my previous kids, and I've homeschooled now for 33 years, all my previous kids living in California took the CHESP, or the California High School Proficiency Exam, which is legally equivalent to a high school diploma. But when we went to register my youngest for the test, we found out that exam no longer exists. It disappeared a year ago, and or maybe two, but it was after my second to youngest took it that it disappeared. So I did not know until we went to register my youngest. So Ray could not take the CHESP. We had to register Ray for the new test, the high set. And let's just say that was extremely time consuming and complicated because the new company doesn't really yet know what they're doing. And so it took a lot of effort, and there were no test centers anywhere near. So we actually had to go do the test on 2 separate days far away from here, but we got it all done. But combined with that, there was, all the finals that were happening at the college because Ray was taking classes at the college during their senior year, and my next oldest was finishing their second year of college. So we were busy with all that. And Ray also went through the process of changing their name after they turned 18. So I was involved with all of that paperwork, which, let me tell you, is a lot. But we got it done. So April and May were just really celebratory for us that we'd finished these things, or they were soon to be finished, and that I was finishing 33 years of homeschooling. So I was sort of retiring in a way, which, by the way, I loved homeschooling. It was a wonderful adventure the whole way, K through 12, with all of my children. Very much a relaxed homeschooling, pretty much unschooling except for the very beginning when I taught them to read and do math. But big adventures all along the way, like the road trips we took now. First up was going to the site of the original gold rush discovery at Sutter's Mill on the American River. We love this place and go revisit it every couple of years because you just feel like you're traveling back in time to when gold was discovered. And actually, I'm writing a series of historical fiction books that are set in the 1850s. So it's perfect to go there, really help fill my creative well, and we had a blast as always. One of the places we visited was the Winchester Mystery House, which is a few hours from here, and that was so much fun. I went to the Winchester Mystery House as a young teen many times. So the Winchester Mystery House is very creepy and very fascinating, and it's based on Sarah Winchester, who bought this farmhouse after coming from back east, New York, I believe. She had been married to a Winchester, forget his first name, but their family, the Winchesters, were the ones who invented and sold what became the gun of the West, the Winchester gun. And after her husband's death and her child's death and several other tragedies, Sarah felt somewhat cursed and maybe haunted a bit by the spirits of those who'd been killed by this gun. And all she knew was she needed to get away, and maybe that would cease these hauntings and this terrible feeling she had. So she came out west to California, bought a farmhouse, but it didn't work. She still felt cursed. She still felt haunted. She started holding seances and consulting with mediums, and then she felt that the spirits were telling her that she needed to start adding on to the house, just continue building. And so she did. She started adding on, and for decades, the building never stopped because she felt like the spirits were saying, apparently, 24/7, build, build, build. So this house is so unusual. It's got stairways that lead nowhere and doors that open into midair and all kinds of just really strange things. And Sarah continued having people build onto her house for all her life till the day she died. Sadly, she never felt like it worked. So, yeah. But it did leave a wonderful house for all of us to visit. As a youngster, and I must admit, even as an adult, it is very interesting and fun to go tour it. Now, my kids were familiar with this house because they had seen it on a YouTube channel that they love that talks about weird haunting type things like this. And so they were super excited to go see it. And so we had a great time there. One other thing Sarah Winchester was known for was her love of gardens. So the gardens at her house, at her estate, are gorgeous. And I really enjoyed my time wandering around, seeing the various types of flowers she grew, looking at the different water features she'd had installed. Some of them are still original and some have been replicated, but just absolutely beautiful. Now, another place we visited was Old Sacramento, and we love going there. I've done this with the kids ever since they were very young. And we do something different every time. We tour the city. We have our favorite stores we like to go in, our favorite museums, but we always find something new to do, whether it's ride in a stagecoach or just something fun. And this time we did something we've never done before. It just never worked out before. We took the underground tour. Unfortunately, they don't let you take pictures in the underground tour, so I can't share any of that with you. Basically, Sacramento, when it was first established in the 1840s and 50s, it was flooded out so many times, and several times this flooding was seriously major and lasted for months. And so, you know, the people there were getting around by boats, but their stores and their homes were basically ruined. And they realized it couldn't continue this way. The small city was located right on the banks of the Sacramento River, you know, for obvious trade purposes and traveling purposes, but was very dangerous. The city came up with a plan though, and the community agreed to it, and they raised the city. They built a new city on top of the old city, literally. And it worked. And today you can go and tour the underground city ruins that are beneath the current city at the old Sacramento site on the river. And so we did that, and it was so fascinating. I absolutely loved it. And yes, definitely had a lot of creative inspiration going on there because it's perfectly set in my time frame and my locale as far as my series that I'm writing. And the kids, of course, enjoyed it immensely because, well, who wouldn't enjoy touring an underground city? I also enjoyed myself on my break by taking time to really notice and experience the beauty, the little miracles in my gardens and in nature all around me. And that one up there is about 8.5 feet tall. It's got several blooms about to go off there. Such a dark, dark shade. I love it. Apparently, the hummingbird is curious. Well, that was a fun cameo by the hummingbird. You never know what you're going to see wandering around the garden, do you? And also just the fun my daily life offers me through my chickens and ducks, my cats, my dog. Yeah, it was really a great time. Rhubarb. Good girl. So what were the results of this 3-month break? So first up, what were the effects of the break on me? Well, I did accomplish all my spring goals, got all the mowing done and the beds prepped and the seeds sown, all that stuff. My son and I did build a fantastic catio. It's big, it's interesting, the cats inside love it, and we visit them there all the time. High school graduation and my homeschooling retirement all happened according to schedule, and really couldn't be happier with everything related to that, as it turned out. As you saw, I had a fabulous time connecting with my kids by just doing some really interesting things with them. And you know, aside from the road trips, we also just had a lot of downtime where we played games together. We love playing games, werewolf and apples to apples, and well, just all kinds. Plus we watched some shows together like Amazing Race and Resident Alien and Madam Secretary, just all sorts of things. So yeah, my kids and I had a good time together during these 3 months too. And then personally, I definitely had so much fun reading and filling my creative well with all the road trips we went on. I also love just getting out and experiencing nature by the water. I love rivers and creeks. I was really inspired to get back to my writing. Also inspired to get back to making YouTube videos. I just realized that it's true when you don't think about something that's challenging you, your brain does keep working on it. And I found myself come mid-May with a new outlook on the channel, and I had all kinds of ideas and what I wanted to do. And that leads me into the effects this 3-month break had on the channel. And some of the effects really shocked me in a good way. Yes, surprisingly, the channel continued to grow and gain subscribers and views and watch time faster than when I was actually publishing videos. So I decided to come back to the channel and start publishing videos again. Yes, still with the emphasis on gardening and fruit trees, but also with a slightly different direction that perhaps only I will notice, but I think will overall inform and influence the way the channel develops. And I'm excited about that. So many great ideas that I want to make videos about. So I came back the last week of May and put out 3 videos, and they all did quite well. One of them did exceptionally well, though you know, never can tell why these things happen, but that was really encouraging. And then I started taking the comments that people would make on my videos and thinking, how can I answer them with a video rather than just in the comment section? And so I've made a few videos like the extreme heat video directly in response to something that one of my viewers asked me or said to me. In June, I put out 7 videos and had so much fun doing it. Really great experience. And I could tell the break was responsible in great part for my re-energized outlook. And you know, there would have even been a few more videos, except this past week it was so hot and so windy, it sort of derailed a couple of them. It's supposed to be 109 today and get up to 113 to 120 this weekend. And you know, that's to be expected because it's July now, July 1st. And July and August are definitely the hottest, driest months here in the Northern California Valley. Really though, I'm super excited about the future of this channel and just the future of the community that I see finally starting to build. So 2 fascinating things happened to my YouTube channel during my 3-month break. The week I came back, the last week of May, my YouTube channel, after nearly 4 years, was finally officially monetized. And secondly, the way that viewers found my videos completely changed. Before the break, 99% of my viewers, astonishingly, came from search, YouTube search and Google search. All the time I was publishing videos from the very beginning up to the time I took the break in mid-March. But when I came back the last week of May and published those 3 videos, and then throughout June, those 7 videos I published, it completely changed almost immediately. By the first week of June, my viewers were not finding my videos primarily by search any longer. In fact, 41% of my viewers were finding my videos just by browsing. Another 19%, taking it up to 60, they found my videos via suggested videos to them. And only 17% of the viewers now are coming from search. I have no explanation for why this happened, but I am very, very glad about it because I do believe this is what's starting to help and will continue to help my channel's community grow. When people see your video, either from a suggested video or when they're browsing, and they think they might like it and they click on it and they watch it, they are much more likely to become a subscriber, much more likely to want to come back and keep viewing you than somebody who just found your video because they asked a specific question related to one specific topic, got their answer, and left, which is what search people do. Now, my viewers changed in a couple of other ways too. Not sure if this will continue, but I'm happy to see the trend. That is that before the break, 99% of my viewers were not subscribers. Only 1% of my viewers were subscribers. That is crazy, but it's understandable when you think that all these viewers are coming from search. Now though, only 87% of my viewers are not subscribers. Now that's still high. It means though that 13% of my viewers are now subscribers. And that is a big improvement in my book. The other way my viewer analytics changed is that before the break, I had a 50-50 split on male viewers and female viewers, which I always thought was a little odd because I thought there were a lot more women in the gardening community than men. But now, after the break, only 30% of the viewers are male and 70% are female, which to me is more representative of the audience that I am expecting to find and the community that I want to build. Now, men are definitely welcome here, by the way. Hey, Martin. Hey, Jay. Any other men out there that are watching, you are welcome. I just found this really kind of an interesting stat that for 3 3/4 of a year, it was a 50-50 split. But now that my viewers are coming less from search and more from browse and suggested videos, it has changed to be a 70-30 split in favor of the females. So was this 3-month break a good decision? No, it really wasn't. It was a great decision. It was a fantastic decision. Even if my channel didn't benefit the way it did, I benefited so much and in so many ways. Mostly my mental health, my emotional health, my creativity, and my family connections were all strengthened by this break. So I'm so glad I took it. So I encourage you, if you're feeling tired, just too busy, worn out, burned out, confused, just overwhelmed, take a break. Take care of yourself first. The world, your YouTube channel or your job or your social obligations, they can all take care of themselves, but only you can take care of you. Then you can come back after your break with some clarity on what you want to focus on next and maybe what you realize you can let go of for now or maybe entirely. I think I'll end by saying something I used to always say at the end of my videos. You can create the life you want. So, why not start right now? Have a great week, everyone. Happy growing, happy living, and I will see you again next time.